Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me, as always, is Bill Olson, our trading anchor, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're going to get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are moving higher today, with S&P futures up 0.39%. Dow futures up 0.14%, and NASDAQ futures up 1.04%. Stocks are rising this morning as signs of faster job creation is seen in the U.S. economy, fueled by optimism about the global recovery. Oil has climbed above $60 per barrel before today's OPEC meeting discussion on extending production cuts. Longer dated Treasury yields have fallen as investors weighed the prospects of President Joe Biden's winning approval for his $2.25 trillion stimulus plan. Microsoft has climbed 1.2% in pre-market as the company's multi-billion-dollar deal to build customized versions of the halogen goggles for the U.S. Army moved forward. Western Digital has gained 1.1%, and Micron Technology has increased 4.7% after a report the two companies are individually exploring a potential deal for Japan's Kioxia Holdings. Over in Europe, the Stock 600 index headed for the longest streak of weekly gains this year. And over in Asia, a gauge of the Asia Pacific shares rose for the first time in 3 days, with Hong Kong leading gains after data signaled a pickup in regional manufacturing. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates today?
You know, Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all morning long, and they've been steadily moving higher. You're looking at them right now, and they're up 0.40%. So that's a nice positive start for the morning. What's causing the move? You know, there's a Biden speech where he was talking about, a new infrastructure bill, and, growth vaccinations are really becoming widespread. So these are real positive moves. Don't kid yourself on the Biden plan, though, because it's going to have a difficult time going through Congress. Republicans are already lining up. They're heavily negative towards increasing corporate taxes, and that's how Biden plans to pay for the plan. So this plan is likely going to be revised numerous times before it starts to see some light in Congress. You know, I'm watching oil today. Oil is really in play. Why? Because of this OPEC production meeting that's going on. The quotas are going to be really where the focus is at. The market is anticipating that these levels are going to remain intact for April and May. You know, yesterday there was even an announcement by the OPEC Secretary General, and he indicated how difficult market conditions are right now and seemed to infer that they're going to be keeping production levels intact. I see the chip makers, they're moving higher today. You know, look at Biden's proposal, $50 billion, for the American semiconductor industry. That's big. So, I'm seeing a positive headway for the market today. This is how we're going to, this is how we're going to start the quarter on a good note today.
Well, let's jump into earnings to watch today. Bill, what have we seen as far as earnings?
You really got to start off with Micron. Micron delivered a good beat this morning. Stocks up 3.4%. They beat estimates by 3 cents on higher revenue, and they raised guidance. Dave & Buster's, that's ticker PLAY, Play. These guys came out with earnings, and they said that they announced a 6 cent beat on higher revenue, but it wasn't great. I mean, if you look at Play, stock is down 1.42%. As I mentioned yesterday, I think the stock's a little too high. It's at pre-pandemic levels. And sure enough, here you are with a positive beat on earnings, and it's still falling down a bit. Guess, that's ticker GES, Grace Edward Sam. They delivered a 62 cent beat on lower revenue. And CarMax, that's ticker KMX, Kilo Michael X-Ray. They delivered a 1 cent beat on lower revenue, and the stock's pushing back a little bit this morning.
How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
But the calendar is light. We're going into a very low reporting period for earnings. Next week we have Star Constellation Brands. That's ticker STZ, Sam, Tom, Zebra. They're going to be releasing Thursday morning. They're priced for a 5.5% move when they release. Estimates are $1.52 per share. Lamb Wesson, this is kind of interesting to me. Yeah, that's ticker LW, Larry William. They're priced for a 7% move Wednesday morning, and their EPS is expected as 0.52, 52 cents. Levi Strauss, that's ticker LEVI, Larry Edward Victor India. They're priced for an 8.5% move, and they released Thursday afternoon. Their estimates are at 27 cents per share. And rounding out next week is ConAgra, that's ticker CAG, Charlie Apple Grace. They're priced for a 5.5% move when they release their earnings Thursday morning. Earnings estimate right now is at 58 cents.
Moving into economic reports, Bill, tell us what we're seeing there today.
Let's talk about economic reports for today. We have jobless claims at 8:30 this morning. At 9:45, we have the PMI manufacturing final. And at 10 o'clock, we have construction spending. And at 1 p.m. this afternoon, we have the Baker Hughes rig count. Little Fed speak, we have, Patrick Harper, Fed Bank President Patrick Harper speaking at 1 p.m. and the Dallas Fed Bank President Robert Kaplan speaking tonight at 6:05 p.m. One important note is the monthly job numbers, which is the non-farm payrolls. That's actually due out tomorrow morning. That's coming out at 8:30. It's going to be it's a key indicator for the market, but the market's going to be closed tomorrow. So, it's going to take more effect on Monday, but we will be watching that, tomorrow during the holiday season when that comes out at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Well, moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Pfizer, ticker PFE, and BioNTech, ticker BNTX. The company shared an updated analysis of their COVID-19 vaccine phase 3 study, which showed that only 927 confirmed symptomatic cases of COVID-19 demonstrated by vaccine recipients, which showed that the company's COVID-19 vaccine was highly effective, with 91.3% vaccine efficacy observed against the virus, measured 7 days through up to 6 months after the second dose. The vaccine was also 100% effective against severe disease as defined by the CDC and 95.3% effective against severe COVID-19 as defined by the FDA. In other news regarding Pfizer and BioNTech, Hong Kong will start administering their vaccine again on Monday following a 12-day suspension over packaging defects detected in one batch. BioNTech's share price is up 1.3% in pre-market, while Pfizer's is up 0.25%. News on Google, ticker GOOGL. The company announced that it plans to partially open its offices in the U.S. from April for those employees who wish to return to the office. News on Microsoft, ticker MSFT. The company is set to sell augmented reality headsets to the U.S. Army in a bumper deal worth up to $21 billion over the next 10 years. The headsets are based on its HoloLens product, which allows users to see holograms laid over their actual environment. The contract is for more than 120,000 headsets, which will be manufactured in the U.S. Microsoft is up 1.13% in pre-market. In other news, Micron, ticker MU, and Western Digital, ticker WDC, just like mentioned earlier, are both exploring a potential deal with Kioxia Holding that could value the Japanese semiconductor company at around $30 billion. If a deal comes together, it could be finalized this late spring. News on CarMax, ticker KMX. CarMax is set to acquire the remaining shares of Edmunds for $404 million. In other news, Volkswagen's China venture with FA has agreed to buy green car credits from Tesla, ticker TSLA, to help meet Chinese regulatory requirements. Tesla's share price is up 2.16% in pre-market. Other news on Tesla, including Apple, ticker AAPL. Apple plans to use Tesla's battery packs for its battery storage project at a Northern California farm. In other news, United Therapeutics, ticker UTHR. The FDA has approved the company's treatment for patients with pulmonary hypertension. United's share price is up 11.20% in pre-market. Lastly, for me, one on Boeing, ticker BA. The Federal Aviation Administration has approved the design of the Boeing 737-8200 after incorporating all the improvements in the 737 MAX ahead of schedule to its first customer, Ryanair, which is ticker RYAAY. Boeing's share price is up 0.39% in pre-market, while Ryanair's share price is up 1.27%. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Well, Shane, I break my news down into sector-based alerts and into event-based alerts. That way I can really just see what the hot news is and I can decide if I need to react quickly or not. It's a gold mine. It really is. And this morning I look at my FANG alert, and I'm looking at Apple. It's one that hit. And I noticed that Goldman, came out and they still see weakness ahead, and they're reissuing their sell rating on shares of Apple, AAPL. The reason for this is the App Store experienced a really sharp increase in revenue at the start of the pandemic. As restrictions are lifting, the quarter-to-quarter revenue figures are likely to get weaker. And you look at the volatility, and the volatility is pretty low for April and May, which is kind of indicating caution ahead. And that's just some of the FANG stories I'm seeing. In my Dow Jones 30 alert, Verizon, ticker VZ, Victor Zebra, they announced a 5G deal to provide a private 5G network to British ports. CVX, Charlie Victor X-ray, this is Chevron. There's an OPEC meeting today where the production quotas are going to be discussed. If they lower the quotas, hey, that's good for Chevron. If they leave them the same, that's good for Chevron. If they raise them, then shares of Chevron and Exxon are going to see some weakness. My option headlines this morning: QS, which is QuantumScape. 30-day option implied volatility is at 97. Now the 52-week range is 76 to 232. So look for quantum shares to see some movement today. Dollar General, that's ticker DG, David Grace. 30-day option implied volatility is 21. Now look at the 52-week range. It's 21 to 48. General Mills, ticker GIS, Grace India Sand. The 30-day option implied volatility is at 21 compared to its 52-week range of 20 to 42. A good indication that shares of General Mills could start to see some price appreciation. My FDA alert went off on QDEL and Abbott Labs, QDEL, and Abbott Labs, ABT, Alpha, Boy, Tom. Both of these companies have received emergency use authorizations from the FDA for their at-home COVID tests. And then there's AMTI, Apple, Mary, Tom, India. They got a secondary coming out. They're pricing 2.5 million shares at $42. Couple events today. Mohawk Group. This is Mohawk Industries. This is ticker MHK, Michael Henry Kilo. They have a shareholders meeting today, scheduled to start at 10 a.m. And Sienna, that's ticker Charlie India Edward Nancy, CIEN. They also have a shareholders meeting, but this one doesn't start till 3 p.m. this afternoon. So that's kind of what I'm seeing today, Shane.
Well, moving into our Trade Talk picks for today, I'm picking Boeing, ticker BA. This is the one I spoke about earlier. They had their Federal Aviation Administration approved their design of the 737-8200, their newest model. So that was good news for them. It was ahead of the schedule with Ryanair. So again, good news. They're already up a little bit in pre-market, not much though, 0.39%. We're looking at about $255.85 right now. And I think optimistically, we could see it going as high as 260 today, at least going up a couple more points. So I expect to see a rise from this one at the open and towards the end of the day. What's your pick looking like today, Bill?
I'm really going to go with Disney. That's ticker DIS, David India Sam. News flow has been positive as of late. Stock is posed to move. It really doesn't have much room to go lower, I don't think. I noticed Deutsche Bank came out with a news report this morning on park attendance, and I think the stock could actually start to trend higher today, along with the market. So I'm going with shares of Disney, ticker DIS today.
Well, let's move into what's hot off the press. So this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak that will be moving the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So looking at our newswire alerts, seeing the headlines streaming in, Bill, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
WR Grace, that's ticker GRA. Grace, Richard, Apple. 40 North just increased their offer to WR Grace to $70 per share. I also see Dish Networks, that's ticker DISH, David, India, Sam, Henry. Dish TV customers are no longer going to have access to the Mid-Atlantic Sports Network and as well as NBC Sports Network. So apparently the model is broken and they're not able to make the revenue on it. So they're cutting those channels off of Dish, DISH.
Elox Pharma, ticker ELOX. They've just acquired Zicani Therapeutics. Little update on Apple's energy storage project. It was announced on Wednesday over 110 of its manufacturing partners around the world are moving to 100% renewable energy for their Apple production. Nearly 8 gigawatts of planned clean energy set to come online.
Here's one on Charlie Tom Apple Sam CTAS. Cintas Corporation CEO is set to retire on May 31.
MasterCard, ticker MA. MasterCard announced new partnerships with DoorDash and HelloFresh.
HD, Home Depot, they're going to be presenting at the JP Morgan Retail Roundup virtual conference. See, Deutsche Bank just adjusted their price target for Goldman to 365 from 310.
A stock alert on QuantumScape, ticker QS. They've just bumped up 14% higher in pre-market.
Here's one on Merck, ticker MRK. Morgan Stanley sees hidden gems in Merck's production pipeline with catalysts. You got to remember that Morgan Stanley put a $90 price target on the stock. I think Goldman has a $200 price target on the stock. So yeah, shares of Merck look very good.
Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's it.
Okay, same here. So that's going to do it for what's hot off the press. Traders, keep in mind, you can receive the stories that we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. It will definitely up your trading game. Moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Wednesday. I had CarMax, ticker KMX, which opened at $133.41 and went up as high as $135.04 for a 1.22% gain if you played it well. Overall, there was definitely time to make a little bit of change on it throughout the day before ultimately closing lower at $132.66. How's your pick end up doing, Bill?
I did CrowdStrike. That was ticker CRWD, Charlie, Richard, William, David. Stock opened up at $179.24. And then it ran from there. It went as high as $184.99 and eventually closed at $183.01. That's a $3.77 gain, which easily beat both benchmarks of $1 or 1%. It's still positive. It's still rallying today. I mean, CrowdStrike was just a really good call, and very pleased with it.
Nice. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk. But traders, you know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.